bit since I've been live with you all. Took a little break from doing live videos in the month of April, and I got some perspective. It was really a cool opportunity to look at things from a different space, and I realized that I missed you all very much, but I also learned some things of like, I got to do this different because I do put a lot of time, energy, and effort into these lives each week, and that's going to have to start to shift. So more stuff coming, some cool things coming. We'll talk more about it as we get into May, but that's not why you're here. You're not here to talk about that. You're here to talk about this. You want to know what is changing in this online marketing space, and what are we supposed to do about it? So I want to know right out of the gate, what are you seeing? Tell me what you're seeing. I'm going to cover kind of the big things that are happening that I've seen. We're going to talk about freebies and what's shifting there. We're going to talk about email lists. We're going to talk a little bit about video. We're going to talk a little bit about the algorithm. We're going to talk a little bit about trust. But what's happening? If you were to look at like what's going on in social media today and what was happening 6 months ago, what sort of changes are you seeing? Or is that why you're here? You're like, I don't know what's changing. I want you to tell me what's changing. That's fine too. But I really want this to be one of those conversations where we talk about what you're seeing, what's happening, and then what the heck do we do about it? Because we really have two choices. We can moan and groan and complain. It's taken away from me again. The algorithm is changing and I'm getting less reach than I used to get. Or we can look at this and say, okay, now that I know what's happening, what do I have to do to pivot or change or shift in my own business so that I can see this more as an opportunity to get out in front of it and to evolve instead of being left behind in the dust? Yes? Okay. So if you are new to me, that could be, my name is Jamie Hain. I am a business and growth coach, although sometimes I talk about being a video and growth coach. I'm a little confused on my title at this time. You ever have that happen where some people are telling you should be this and you really should be this, but this feels better? Yeah, I'm having that emotional identity crisis right now. Just on the title, everything else I'm crystal clear on. Anyway, one of the things that people used to say about me, this gets back to like my corporate days, but my team used to say all the time, Jamie, it's like you can see around corners. How the heck do you do that? And I didn't realize at the time that it's actually a gift that I have. And it's really not so much as a special gift. It's more the ability to pick up on little nuances and say, we're shifting. This is moving this way. If this continues, this is going to happen. And so we have to get out in front of it. And that's really what I hope to do with all of you today. So super exciting. Okay, we're going to talk about some 3 main shifts. But I'm seeing in the comments, some of you are adding some other things. So let me just look at some of your comments and see if we're going to make any, we might be talking about some of this stuff. So let's see here. Debbie says, can you see us? No, but I can imagine it. I can see you dancing. I knew you were dancing there at the beginning. Okay, Annette says, clients are more cautious with purchases. Yep, we're going to talk about that. We're specifically going to talk about that around trust. Okay, Debbie says, Facebook makes it harder to get your posts out unless you get verified. Ooh, interesting. Isn't that interesting? Okay, Annette says, you can call me whatever makes you comfortable so I can help you. Yes, that's it. So going back to this whole identity crisis, here's the deal. Does it really matter? It doesn't really matter. Annette's got it exactly right on. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what you call yourself. What they care about is how you're going to help them. Whether you call yourself a business coach or a video coach or a growth coach or the queen of whatever, nobody cares. The only one that's putting that much time, energy, and effort into it is you, right? Which is why I'm just like, whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, good. I'm glad Debbie was dancing. That makes me happy. I hope you all were. Okay, so let's talk about what's actually shifting. Sorry, my laptop is up on a stand and it keeps moving. Okay, let's try not to touch it. Okay, let's talk about 3 shifts. Number 1, there is a shift away from the PDF as a freebie. You're seeing lots of people posting and talking about the freebie is dead. And what they're really talking about is the PDF freebie. And the reason it's dying is because what is it? The industry, the space, the online, whatever it is flooded with junk. Lots and lots of junk. And so what's happened is people have opted in for a freebie and they've gotten it and went, what? This is like awful. And when that happens 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 10 times, we go, yeah, this is junk, right? And then we're unsubscribing from email lists, or we're not opening emails that we're now on, and we don't even know who is this person who's now emailing me. So this whole idea of you must have a freebie is starting to die out. It is a way to get people on your email list. And that concept is still very valid because when you have an email list, you aren't a slave to social media. You can communicate with people outside of social media, should anything ever happen. You also typically have better reach. More people open your emails than see your posts, as long as they're good emails, which is a whole other thing we could talk about. Well, we're not going to. So hopefully you see where I'm going with this trend. So what's happening instead is people are starting to look at what is the free thing you offer to people to get them into your world. And it really needs to be something that they will use. It needs to be something that is valuable, and it needs to be something that they can look at right now. Because how many of you, be honest, have signed up for a freebie and never opened it inside your email? Maybe you don't even remember that you asked for it. Maybe there was a little bait and switch going on and you're like, what is this? Why do I have this? Why did I sign up for this? Because this is not what I thought it was going to be. Yeah, right? It all happens. So that is starting to change, and we're starting to look at how do we do freebies different? How do we get people on our email list in a different way? Now, part 2 of this concept is segmenting your list. Because I can have 10,000 people on my email list. I wish, by the way, I don't. But if nobody opens those emails, if nobody ever buys anything, what is the value of those people? There's not one. So what's happening is people are starting to segment their lists and focus more on a buyer's list, not just an email list. And so what you're seeing is a lot more people selling low ticket things, a $3 thing, a $5 thing, a $7 thing. Because studies tell us that if somebody is willing to invest $1 or $3 or $5, they're a buyer. They will invest money to get something. And therefore, those are your better leads inside your email list. You see where I'm going? Okay. If you got questions on that, ask. Let's see if anything's come up here. Hold on. I'm just wanting to make sure. Annette says, my camera is super clear. Awesome. Other than when I'm moving it. Let's see here. No questions. Okay. You got it. Everybody's with me. Okay. So that's shift number 1. Shift number 2 is the algorithm continues to change. It continues to dial down your reach. I know for a fact that when I am posting content and it used to get 20, 30, 40 views, I'm seeing much less now. Same kind of content. Way turned down. And while it is very easy for us to point fingers and be like, Facebook, you suck, you're doing this to me. They're doing it because the users are showing different kinds of behaviors than they ever have before. And so all the platforms are doing is accommodating what people want. Now, what do people want? You guys know the answer. You know the answer before I even tell you the answer. What is it that people want? This is what they want. We are consuming more video content than we ever have before. Why? Why is video content so much? Why do we want it? Let's just stop and just take yourself out of the equation. When you are doom scrolling at night, let's just be real. When you take your phone to the bathroom and you're watching, what are you doing on your phone? You're watching videos. And more than anything else, you are watching short form video. You are looking at Reels and TikToks. And those Reels might be on Instagram, they might be on Facebook, but it's like got its own category inside the app. My nieces and nephews tell me that nobody is looking at posts on Instagram. All people care about is on the Reel side. And I imagine that's happening on Facebook, and it's definitely happening on TikTok. Why? Why do we think this is happening? Why is short form video what people want to consume? I'm going to wait for you to answer because you know the answer. I don't have to tell you the answer. You know the answer. What's the answer? Why do we want short form video? I'm going to wait. There might be a delay. There's probably a delay. But you'll answer for me. It'll come in. Just when I stop talking, then it'll be like, boom, 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 boom. A bunch of you will come in. Okay. Michelle says, easy to consume. Yes. Christy says, it's fast. Michelle says, short and to the point. We want a little bitty nugget, right? Because our minds are so overwhelmed with all the stuff and things. Like, we're full. We're full up. It's also that I don't remember who said it earlier. Like, people are, let me scroll back to see where that was. What was it? What did that say here? Hold on. Clients are more cautious. We're going to talk about trust next. So what's happening is I don't want to invest a ton of time with you if I don't know that you're going to give me the goods. And so by watching reels, short reels, it's allowing me to see this little glimpse of you and to be like, okay, kind of like her. Now I might be more willing to consume content that takes longer. But I want short, fast, quick up front. I also just want to escape. I want to be entertained. I want to, I mean, I don't know if you've ever done this, but have you ever had somebody send you a video and say, oh my gosh, you have to watch this, or you have to listen to it if it's a podcast. You have to. And you open it up and it's like 2 hours and 32 minutes. And you're like, oh, heck no, that ain't happening. I don't got time for 2.5 hours of something. Right? But yet, at night on your phone, when you're in bed, you'll easily lose 2.5 hours just consuming reels. There's something that happens where it's just because it's so fast, time goes faster. You can swipe past. You don't lose yourself into a boring video because they're short and quick. Okay, you guys got me. Okay, I probably don't need to spend any more time on this because you guys got me. Let me see though, what else did you come up with? Carousels, Annette says carousels are hot. They are hot because it's also short form and there's an activity that is happening. I am going like this on my phone and it makes it way easier for me to type and respond because I'm already active. Yep, same kind of a thing. Doom scrolling, Farhana says, yes, so true. Relatability, they're getting a feel for the person. Okay, you guys are getting it. Okay, so short form video is being prioritized over any other type of video. Video in general is still hot, but I would say reels over even 10, 20, 30-minute videos are happening. But the only place that longer videos are still effective, YouTube and inside of Facebook groups, because people schedule themselves to show up for a particular event inside a Facebook group. Because they're in a Facebook group because they already trust that person and they know they're going to get value in that time. So on your personal profiles, short form, that's what you need to focus on. Okay, the other thing that I wanted to just touch on while we're here on video, let me get my mouse, is this whole idea versus live versus pre-recorded. And I was playing with this over the last month, and I have to say that there really is a difference. When you're live, when it's scheduled live, there's a different energy on both sides. I can't tell you how many people tell me, I want to do your program, but I can't make the live calls. So I'm not going to join the program if I can't be on the live calls. I was in a webinar last week. It was a live webinar. The guy was legit live, and he proved it to us by putting up a recent newspaper clipping from that day. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's like proof of life from the movies. But he's proving that he's live on a webinar so that people trust him. And even then, you should have seen how many people were commenting, this isn't live. I don't believe it's live. There's no way this is live. And I was like, oh my gosh, when did this happen to us? It's because there have been so many of the pre-recorded videos that were burnt out on it. And so people it gets back to that trust, right? Okay. The only other thing I want to touch on here as it relates to the algorithm is that we are seeing a huge influx and influence of AI and everything from videos and images. Like, can you now see videos and you're like, is this real or is it AI? And you can start to spot what's AI and what's not. Have you noticed this? It's crazy to me, right? But even are you starting to notice like posts, and you could be like, that's AI. AI wrote that. I can tell AI wrote that. And how does that change your actions? Do you still read it, or are you finding yourself scrolling by because you recognize that it's AI? It's a real thing that we've got to really focus on here. Okay, last shift that I wanted to touch on, unless you guys have other questions about shifts, is this whole thing about trust. So we as buyers don't trust as easily as we used to. Why? Why do you think about yourself as a buyer? Why are you less trustful? What has happened that has created this for us? This environment that we now find ourselves in, where trust is at an all-time low. What has happened? Why did we get here? What do you all say? We're almost going to wait again because there's a delay, and that's okay. We'll wait till the delays come in. It's good to see all these faces. Oh, I missed some of these things. Okay, so I have my computer up, and I just pulled my phone up, and you guys had some really good things to say that didn't show up on my computer. That is so bizarre. Okay. Okay, so the question was, why are we low to trust? And Michelle says, low value offers. And Annette says, the economy is scary right now, and people don't want to spend right now unless it's a sure thing. Yep. Debbie says, people will take your money even if they don't believe they can help you. Yep. So you see where the trust issues are coming in, right? We've been burned. We've bought something, a coaching program, a course, whatever it is, and we didn't get value out of it. Or we got screwed. The coach ran off. We never got it. Who knows whatever happened, right? And the economy just has me going, I just don't know what's happening right now. So because I'm so scared, I'm just going to freeze my assets and not spend money. So all of that is coming in. Yes. We don't even trust our government. We don't even trust our leaders. And so because of that, we're scared to trust this, whoever this is online, right? So what do we do about this lack of trust? As those of us who are out here trying to sell our services, sell our programs in this online marketing space, and we are dealing with all of this stuff, right? We've got the freebie is dying. You got to have a buyer's list instead of an email list. You got to do more video. Nobody trusts you. People don't want to spend big money anymore. I've heard that one before too. Nobody wants to spend big ticket anymore because they're so worried about not getting the value for their investment. So what do we do? That's like the $1 million question, right? What do we do in all of this? Well, that was supposed to be a moment where this came up, but it's not. So what does all of this mean? Let me just kind of summarize some things for you here, okay? So what's happened is that people are overwhelmed. And they're overwhelmed for many different reasons. They're overwhelmed because there's so much stuff and they don't know who to trust. And they are terrified of what's happening in the economy. They're terrified of what's going on in their government. And so they're just doing nothing. I'm going to just press pause, okay? The other thing that's happening is that the perception of what is valuable is changing. This is valuable. This is no longer valuable. My time is valuable. Therefore, I'm not going to watch longer videos. I'm going to watch shorter videos. And the bottom line to all of this is there are still people out there that want help, but they want real help. And they're going to take longer to buy from somebody because they do not want to get burned again. You guys see where I'm going with all of this? Is this helpful? Does this help some ahas and some light bulbs go on? Okay, let me just see if I've missed anything here. Michelle says, offers look good but lack substance. Yeah, that's another thing, isn't it? Oof, ouchie mama. We've all been caught up in that, right? Okay, so what I want you to consider is that it is truly an opportunity, we're not at the point where we should be waving the white flags and screaming and crying and going and running away to Barbados. Although, wouldn't that be nice? It's really an opportunity to say, okay, this is what's changing. So how do I get out in front of it? How do I get out in front of it? How do I learn from all of these things that are happening and say, what am I going to do different in my business in order to take advantage of all of these opportunities that are in front of me? Okay. So what you really want to look at is there is a gap between when somebody connects with you and when they buy. That's that longer buying cycle, right? And so what you have to look at is, what do I need to do between those two options to make that happen faster? So somebody meets me for the first time. How do I get them to buy quickly? How do I get them to trust me and know that I'm the real deal, that I can help you, that I can give you real help, that I'm not going to just leave you high and dry? That's what you've got to start to think about in your business. How do I create this? Okay. One of the best ways to do that is to embrace video, because there is a connection that happens when I'm here live with you. You can get to know me. You can ask me questions. You can understand what it's like to work with me. Whereas if it's just words on a page, anybody can type anything on a page. But if you ask a real question and you get real help and get a real answer, now you've got trust faster. The other thing that you need to do is to really be more intentional and strategic. As much as we want to be able to just post stuff on social media and think our stuff is going to just fly off the shelves and sell, it doesn't work that way anymore. And so oftentimes we are stuck in this, but it used to work this way, so I must just have to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result. But that's the definition of insanity, right? We have to pivot. We have to evolve. We have to change. And the best advice that I can give you is to do that in a strategic, intentional way. What do I mean by that? I mean, have a plan. Know what you're posting on social media, why you're posting it on social media, and what you're trying to drive traffic to. Now, my recommendation, and this is what I teach inside of all of my programs, is to really embrace selling through the masterclass. Now, I want to just clarify this because I've had a number of people ask this question, and I want to make sure it's clear. This is not a masterclass like in your program. This is not a teaching how to do something masterclass. This is selling through a masterclass. Now, the goal of selling through a masterclass is that they, meaning your people, your audience, they're going to get real value. Inside of this masterclass, like today, you've learned something today, right? You've gotten value. Hopefully you've looked at your watch and you said, yeah, this has been worth the 20 minutes that I've been on here. I've gotten something from it. There's a return on my investment of time, okay? They also get to see that you're a real deal. You're like a real badass coach that can help them with this. What you get is you shorten that time to conversion. Because you're building value, because you're building trust, you can get to that conversion point faster than without it. Now, the real key here is that not all masterclasses are equal. Not everybody can just whip out a masterclass and have it convert. Anybody can do a masterclass to teach. But to actually create one that converts, that actually sells something, it takes a very different strategy or intention. Okay, the other things that I want to touch on here on this masterclass is that all of the things that we've been talking about today, where we start talking about the shifts and the trends that are starting to adjust. Freebies. Use your masterclass as your freebie. Instant value, instant connection, instant trust, and it's something that people actually want. Keep it short, but use it as that. Okay. People want a buyer's list. Well, why not convert out of a short masterclass into something like a $5 something or a $7 something? Something that allows your people to go a little bit step further with you, get a bigger piece of the puzzle, and again, try you out before they invest in a bigger ticket thing. See how this all works together? If you got questions on this, let me know. That's what I'm here for. Okay. Now, if you are somebody who wants to learn how to sell through the masterclass, I got two ways to do that. You can join me in my group program, or you can join me in my membership. Those are the options. 2 different price points, 2 different speeds that we get through that. If this is something that you're interested in, send me a message and let's talk about it. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to overpitch or oversell or any of that. If this is something you want help with, I would love to help you with it. Okay, let's see what questions we have. And then we will wrap us up. By the way, both of those programs are on sale through tomorrow. That's what this is. Okay, let's see here. What do we got? Debbie says, masterclass equals money. Yes. Annette says, I offer a free 30-minute call at the end of my masterclass. Yes. But here's what I want to say to that. Be specific in what kind of call that is. Again, go back to what are we talking about earlier. Can I pull this up here? Is this going to still apply? People are going to get on a call if they believe that there's going to be value for them. People will get on a call if they believe that they're going to get real exposure to you and real help. Those calls shorten the time to conversion. So both of those work in conjunction. Masterclass with the sales call. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Okay, that's it for comments. I'm not seeing any questions. All right, you guys are good. So let's wrap up. Oh, hold on here. There we go. Nope, missed one. It is this moment where you have to choose. I hope that you will choose to embrace the changes that are coming. Because if you don't, you're going to write it down into the ground. If you're going to hang on to that PDF freebie all the way into the ground, you're going to be left in the dust by everybody else who's jumping on things early. So what I'm encouraging you to do is get out in front of it. Learn how to do some of these things. Start to shift now to embracing video, to segmenting your email list, to embracing a masterclass. Because if you can get out in front of it, you are now on the leading edge of what's starting to shift and change. See how that works? All right. Since I'm not seeing any other questions, I will wrap us up and just say thanks. Thanks for being part of this conversation with me today. Thanks for sharing your insights, your perspectives, the things that you are seeing. If you have any questions about the trends or things that are happening, let me know. That's what I'm here for. I would love to hear from you. Feel free to message me. And again, if anybody wants to, questions. Hold on, questions coming in. Debbie says, do you recommend going live on a certain time or just whenever? Oh, good question. Okay. I would say the best time to go live is the time that you'll actually do it. So don't worry about when is the perfect, most ideal time to do it. Do it when it works for your schedule, because then you're more apt to actually do it at that time. Pick what works for you and choose to believe that your ideal audience will come and find you at that time. Now, inside of your Facebook group or inside of your personal profile, if you have it turned on to creator mode, you do have insights. And so what insights allow you to do is look at when are people most active in that space. So that can be a good thing to go and look at and say, when am I getting the most people on? And then pick that as your starting point. But here's what I'll tell you. You'll go nuts if you keep chasing that. Because every month, I have been tracking those numbers for the last 3 years. And every month they shift just a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. And if every time I moved it and said, okay, now we're going to do it here, and now we're going to do it here, and now we're going to do it here, everybody's going to be so confused, it's not worth it. So use it to guide you for like your first time. Like when are most of my people active? Then maybe that's a good time for me to actually do my live. So you can look at it and see by day, by time, all of that. But I would tell you, having done this for 3 years now, it'll shift to when you go live. So if you pick a day at a time and you say, I'm going to go live every Tuesday at 2 o'clock, and you're consistently going live Tuesday at 2 o'clock, a month from now, when you go in and look at that data, you're going to see that the most people are on with you Tuesday at 2 o'clock. So when I say trust that they will come, trust that they will show up, that's what I mean. Good question, Debbie. Thank you for that. Okay, anybody else have questions? Bum, 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 bum. We're right at 30 minutes. Look at that. Okay, if y'all got other questions, drop them in the comments. I will come back and answer them when I can. Otherwise, have a great rest of your Tuesday. If you want to join me and learn how to do masterclasses, send me a DM. I got things on sale through tomorrow. Don't miss the opportunity. Talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.